What do you make of your transition from a running back a few years ago to, kind of probable starter at inside linebacker, and how productive you are now?
It's been an awesome experience. And just thank God every day. Just trust coaching and just keep pushing.
Was it an easy transition for you?
Not at all. It wasn't easy at all, but it took a lot of practice. So once you start in practice, the transition over to the game. So,
what was difficult about it?
Just different techniques. You got to learn how to kind of be more physical, be a defensive player. That's probably about it.
How you good? How you Tae? What is it? What do you look at? How are you approaching the spring practice? I mean, obviously you're a senior. You have probably more experience, or as much experience as anybody's got over there. You're going with the ones right now. I mean, are you fighting, to keep that position? Does it feel like a competitive situation, or are you just continuing your progress of learning to be a linebacker as best as you can?
Yeah, just trying to be the best I can, and just try to be the best leader. Try to lead the young guys in the right direction and work hard, trust coaching.
How do you handle the whole depth chart thing? How does that get handled on a day-to-day basis for you guys?
We just let whatever Coach Schumann want to go with, we just listen to him and go with it.
Does it change a lot, or is it the ones always the ones right now?
I mean, we change around just to get different guys playing with different people, because you never know what can happen in a game situation.
I always use the example of Roquan Smith when I talk about inside linebacker. It's like he didn't pop out as a freshman and have a great year. It took him really well into his sophomore year, and you're probably on about the same timeline when you think about changing the positions. What makes it so kind of complicated, to be able to play at a high level at inside linebacker?
I wouldn't necessarily say it's complicated. Like I said, it just takes a lot of practice. You just got to keep practicing and keep going with it.
What about the talented guys that are around you that don't have as much experience? How are they pushing you?
The guys who,
like Nakobe, some of the second-year guys that played a little bit last year. What kind of pressure they put on you to, fight for your spot and that kind of thing?
I mean, we all working hard. We push each other each day and every day. So, I mean, it's competitive, but at the end of the day, we're behind each other.
We always hear the wide receivers talking about who's fastest. Who's faster? You're a pretty fast guy. You came here as a running back. Last year when you intercepted that ball against Missouri, I remember going, "Whoa, he's still fast." Who's fastest among you? Yeah, that's right.
I think Coach Hugh might be the fastest.
You think so? What are you seeing from Channing Tatum and Quay, second-year guys? We're kind of talking about what we're talking about, how much progress those guys.
They're doing a very good job. Just got to keep going into practice as it gets tough. Just keep locking in, stay focused. They're doing a great job.
My freshman year, I wasn't ready to play. I sat down and I learned.
How do you feel about this defense? We've heard a lot of new terminology this year about havoc plays. Did you hear if havoc plays come up in your room as well? Had you heard that before this season? Havoc plays, has that always been a terminology?
Not really. We always try to work on getting turnovers, getting many turnovers that we wanted. But this spring, we're really emphasizing creating havoc.
How does that manifest itself for inside linebackers?
Just try to get the ball off people. We got to do a great job of open field tackle and stuff like that. So it's a big deal for us.
I know you mainly go against the edges on the offense, but over your 25, 30 years with this program, whatever it seems like to you, how big have you seen this offense get as the line?
Man, it's one of the best groups I ever saw. I love going against them every day because it can only make you better. So. But it's definitely it's a lot of talent on that side of the ball.
It's one thing to be physical, which they are. Yeah. How does that manifest itself to not just be, good on the stat sheet, but good, physical, hard to go against?
It's a big deal because, we run the ball a lot, so we definitely need that.
Hey, you were working on defense when Stetson started to sort of earn a legend for himself, getting you guys ready for the Rose Bowl and that kind of stuff. What have you seen from him now? Now he's a scholarship quarterback. He's working with the offense. What's been your impressions of what he's doing?
Stetson, he's doing a great job running around, throwing the ball, just getting used to the plays on offense. So since he's been back, he's been working hard, doing a great job for the offense.
What's been your impression of the Kobe Dean thus far? Sorry if you've already been asked that.
No, it's all right. The Kobe Dean, great athlete, very smart guy. I mean, it's always fun playing with somebody that's smart like that. So, I mean, he's a pretty talented kid.
Your head can kind of, I guess your head can kind of spin playing that position a little bit. I know Kirby's talked about that before. How well is he dealing with that?
For a freshman, he's doing pretty good. Doing really good.
Do you remember going against, back to Stetson, going against him, he was mimicking Baker Mayfield in the Rose Bowl? How good how did he do mimicking that much?
He did a great job. I mean, I think it really helped our defense a lot. So, I mean, Stetson, since he's been here, since he left when he was here, he's did a great job.
I hate to compare and contrast to a guy like that, but how did he compare and contrast from being the scout team guy to what you actually saw in the game?
He did a really good job. Like you say, he worked his butt off. So.
You ever, when you look at how big of a role you played last season, especially towards the end of the season, and kind of what role you're stepping into now, you kind of pinch yourself and, realize that 5 years ago you were headed to Georgia Southern, and now you're playing a completely different position at UGA, and not only that, you're kind of a starter. Does that, do you have to does it kind of wow you that it's come that far, that it's so different than what it was?
I mean, I think about it from time to time, but hard work got me there. So I just stay focused. I'll tell you, coaching, all I can do is come to work every day, try to lead.
Can you take us back to that bye week in 2016 when you made the switch and things like that? Kind of did the staff approach you? Did you approach them? Kind of how did that happen?
The staff approached me. I had a conversation with Coach Smart about it, and we had a meeting. And we just went with it after the meeting and just told him what he thought would be a great switch for me. I gave it a shot.
And how did you feel about it right away? What kind of, was there any disappointment because you played so much offense?
I was already frustrated from not really playing for 2 years, so I couldn't really complain about it. I just wanted to get a role on the team so I could contribute. So I couldn't really. I just went with it.
Was there ever a moment where you were like, I can do this? A hit, a play in practice or anything like that, where the light just kind of came on? You're like, all right, I can do this linebacker.
Yeah, like I said, it just took a lot of practice.
He came in fifth, I came in sixth. When people come in the linebacker position at Georgia, obviously embarrassing get made all the time is Roquan Smith. But if you look at Roquan's trajectory, he was much better as a sophomore as a freshman. You guys have a lot of good freshman linebackers in this team. Why do you think it's so hard to make that transition to succeeding at this position as a freshman? Because if it's a challenge for Roquan, it's going to be a challenge for anybody.
It's SEC. It's the toughest level. So it takes a lot. You got to be the alpha male out there. You got to take control of the defense. So it's a lot of talking, running, playing. It's just a lot to that position. You're the quarterback of the defense. So.
You got a couple of incoming freshmen aren't able to practice much right now, but we have seen them out there at least a little bit. Davis and Marshall. What are they able to do, and how can you learn as a linebacker if you're not getting able to go through the full contact drills and everything?
We all meet pretty well. They take mental reps. So when we on the field, they stand behind. Sometimes they take the first with the first group, so they can get used to making the calls and stuff like that. Most of all, just meetings and getting mental reps on the field.
You're also in kind of an interesting position in that you're a veteran, so you could technically be a mentor to them, but you're also competing against them as well. Which of those two hats do you find yourself wearing more in practice, of wanting to show, hey, that you're the guy that should be manning the middle in this defense, or is it more about that, let me help these young guys come along in the program here?
Oh, yeah, I definitely want to help them. I don't really get into all that. I just try to lead them and show them how we want to practice here.
How much are things going to change for you? We hear Kirby talk a lot more about havoc and creating it. And will your role change? Will you be instrumental in doing more?
I think the whole defense will. We just want to fly around, get TFLs, forced fumbles, PBUs, interceptions. So I mean, it's pretty big on the whole defense.
I was going to say you had a couple of those last year. What can you do to create even more? Is it just become second nature now to you, even more so than it was a year ago?
Well, fast defense. I mean, we fly around, just try to get to the ball, try to get great hits, stuff like that. Just fly around.
Is it fair to say we're going to see a big boost in production from the linebackers this year? Would that be a fair expectation?
Most definitely. Most definitely.
You guys talk about that amongst yourselves?
Not really, but I mean, the expectation is very high. And I mean, each year we want to get better.
Last question.
The incoming guys, any of these guys really opened your eyes? Some of these early enrollees, some of these young, talented, highly rated?
They're all doing pretty good. I mean, I like the way they come to work. Nobody's complaining. None of that. They listen, they take coaching. So.
What about Johnson, the JUCO guy? I wondered about him.
Jermaine, Jermaine doing pretty good.
Thanks, Tae.
Good stuff.